My name's Ethan. I'm 26 years old. Ex-military, now working a solid job that sometimes takes me out of town for a week or two at a time. I never thought I'd be the guy to cancel a wedding just days before it happened, but life has a funny way of revealing truths when you least expect it. I was engaged to a woman named Lena, 24, who I genuinely believed was the love of my life. She was sweet, ambitious in her own way, and always talking about her dreams, one of which was visiting this exotic country she'd always called her once-in-a-lifetime trip. When I proposed, it was simple and personal. Just the two of us under the stars after a quiet dinner. She cried and said yes, and I remember thinking, this is it. This is the woman I'm building my life with. From that moment on, I was all in. I worked extra hours, budgeted everything, and poured myself into planning a wedding she'd never forget. In the honeymoon, I went all out. 5-star hotels, bucket list excursions. It cost me nearly $7,000, but she deserved it, or so I thought. Fast forward to just a few days before the wedding. I was home finalizing vendor contracts while Lena was in the shower. Her phone buzzed, and I happened to glance over. A message lit up from her sister, Tessa. It read, "Have you told Ethan about what you did with your ex? If you don't do it tonight, I will tomorrow." I froze. Tessa wasn't the type to stir up drama. In fact, she was married to my best friend, Caleb, and had always been the voice of reason. For her to send that, I knew it wasn't nothing. When Lena came out of the bathroom, I asked her about it. Her face went pale. She laughed nervously and said, "Oh, you know Tessa, always trying to cause problems." But something felt off. Her tone, her face, everything. That night, after she fell asleep, I did something I'd never done before. I went through her phone. It felt like I was violating her privacy, but what I found absolutely shattered me. Messages, pictures, videos, dating back years. Every time I went on a work trip, Lena had hooked up with her ex, Jay. Messages like, "When does he leave again? I miss you. Can't wait for tonight." And one picture that ended them in our bed. I sent it all to my phone, then just sat there in the dark, trying to process. I didn't sleep a minute that night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I woke Lena up, showed her the evidence, and asked her to explain. She tried to play dumb at first. Then she cried. Then she begged, said she still loved me, and that it didn't mean anything. But how do you explain 4 years of betrayal? How does someone claim to love you while letting another man into your home, your bed, when you're away working to build a future? I packed her bags myself and kicked her out. Told her to go to Tessa's, Jay's, or sleep in her car. I didn't care. She was no longer welcome in my life. Canceling the wedding was its own kind of hell. Caleb and Tessa helped me call vendors, guests, and basically unravel everything Lena and I had built together. I was out close to $10,000 in non-refundable costs, and that didn't even include the honeymoon. The honeymoon, that dream trip to Lena's bucket list country. Non-refundable too. I called the agency, asked if I could at least get credit. Nope, it was already paid in full and locked in. At first, I was going to let it go. But then I had a better idea. Caleb and Tessa, my best friend and the woman who blew the whistle on Lena, had been married for years. They had 2 kids and had never taken a honeymoon. They'd gotten married young when Tessa found out she was pregnant and had been grinding ever since. So I gave it to them. Caleb tried to refuse, but I told him I couldn't go, not on a trip like that. The idea of sitting alone in a romantic suite made me nauseous. But knowing they'd get to enjoy it, that felt right. Tessa cried when I told her. Caleb thanked me with a quiet, "You're a good man, brother." And for the first time since the breakup, I felt like I had taken something back for myself. Then Lena found out. It started with texts. First rage, "How could you do this to me? That's my trip, you selfish piece of." Then desperation, "Please don't let them go. That trip was ours. Then came the smear campaign. Lena's friends started blowing up my phone. "You're heartless. She made one mistake and you threw it all away. No wonder she cheated." Tessa called me later that day, voice tight. So Lena showed up at our house this morning. Apparently Lena had been pounding on the door at 8 a.m., demanding details of the flights, hotel, everything. She was screaming that Tessa had stolen the trip. Caleb called the cops when she wouldn't leave. And then the icing on the cake, Tessa's doorbell cam caught the whole meltdown. Clear as day, Lena yelled. He was lucky I even stayed with him. I used him for stability. I thought I'd at least get a free vacation. It was surreal. The footage showed her pacing in sweats, hair a mess, screaming how she never loved me and that I was a loser. Tessa sent me the clip, and I sat there watching the woman I once planned to marry self-destruct in HD. Tessa didn't stop there. She posted the footage online. By that night, the messages changed. Apologies, sympathy. Even some of Lena's friends texted me to say they were sorry they believed her lies. Her meltdown went semi-viral in local Facebook groups with captions like, "Entitlement caught on camera, she cheated for 4 years and is mad about losing a vacation." Her own mother called me, apologized, said she didn't raise her daughter to act that way. Apparently Lena had lost her job too. Her boss saw the video and wanted no part of her drama. A few days later, her ex, Jay, showed up at my house, drunk. He tried to shove his way inside, slurring something about how I stole his girl's trip. I restrained him and called the cops. He was arrested for trespassing, attempted B&E, and violating the restraining order I'd already filed. By now, Lena had burned nearly every bridge. Friends gone, family humiliated, Jay behind bars, and me, I was purging every trace of her from my house, photos, mugs, even the damn throw blanket. Then Tessa and Caleb came back from the trip. They were glowing, refreshed, happy. "That trip was the best thing that ever happened to us," Tessa said, hugging me. Caleb handed me a small wooden figure from one of the local markets. "Good luck for the next chapter," he said. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled. That night, in my quiet house, I realized I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't angry. I was free. It wasn't the life I planned. But maybe, just maybe, it's the one I was meant to build from here.